Welcome back to the Little Sparrow Loved podcast. I am Sarah and I am so glad you're here today. And talking of today, today's episode is called You're Not the Only One Under Fire. And if you've clicked on this, maybe something inside you knows what that feels like to be under pressure, to feel worn thin, to wonder if you're the only one the enemy seems to have a personal vendetta against. And we're going to talk about that today. And I want to start with a verse, one that has stayed close to me this week. And it's 1 Peter 5:8-9. Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. Resist him, standing firm in the faith, because you know that the family of believers throughout the world is undergoing the same kind of sufferings. So let that settle for a second. The family of believers throughout the world is undergoing the same kind of sufferings. There's something so comforting about that, right? Because we don't always say it out loud, but deep down, many of us feel this quiet ache, like I must be the only one. And I felt like that more times than I can count. And honestly, I could give you specific stories, but there have been so many moments like this that it's really hard to pick just one. So let me just say it like this. There have been seasons in my life where I've genuinely believed I was being personally targeted. Like the enemy had my exact coordinates. He knew exactly what would shake me, what would silence me, and what would make me question everything that I believed. And the worst part, in those moments, I felt so alone, like no one else could possibly understand what I was carrying. And like I was weak for even struggling, or something must be wrong with me. But 1 Peter, it told me a different story. And it reminds us that this isn't strange or isolated, and that you're not weak. You are not singled out because you've done anything wrong or you've failed. You're not the only one that is under fire. And that truth right there, it breaks the lie of shame. Because when we believe we're alone, we actually isolate, we spiral, and we lose hope. But when we know there's a whole family of believers across the world going through the same things, we remember we were never meant to fight alone. And you have people standing with you, even if you've never met them, even if they live in a different country, even if they're whispering the same prayers in the dark that you are right now. This is spiritual warfare, yes, but it's also a shared faith, a connected body, a family that rises together. And I want to tell you something I am reminding myself of today. Being under fire doesn't mean you're failing. It might mean you're walking exactly where you're meant to be. Because the enemy doesn't prowl around looking for people who pose no threat. He roars near those carrying something sacred. He attacks those of us that are standing in truth. So, friend, if you are feeling it, if you're worn out, anxious, discouraged, exhausted, don't let the roar shake your faith. Let it confirm that you're not alone, that others are fighting too, that Jesus is near, and that victory doesn't come from being the strongest, it comes from standing firm. So this is what I've got to say. Stand firm. Even if it's shaky, even if you're tired, even if your prayers are just a whisper, that's enough. And I'm standing with you. This community, this Little Sparrow Loved space is with you. And most of all, God is with you. So I'm going to leave it there. thank you for being here today. If this episode spoke to you, maybe pass it along to someone who needs it too. But let's keep holding each other up. Let's keep telling the truth. Let's keep reminding one another that you are not the only one under fire, and you are never, ever fighting alone. And before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future episodes. And if you want to go a little deeper, come hang out with me over at littlesparrowlove.com. That's where I spend most of my time on the blog, writing and connecting with the Little Sparrow Loved crew. And until the next episode, be blessed and be a light.